Hello, Jenny Howard here. This video will demonstrate what I call an alternative to the Russian join. The place where I learned it on Ravelry, they called it a needle join and referred to it as the cheater's braided join. So I've never done a braided join, so I can't compare the two, but I prefer this to the standard Russian join where you're putting the yarn into itself, making a loop, and then putting the new yarn in a loop, through the loop and into itself. I prefer this method to that one. And the way I make it is the same principle as Russian join, so that's why I call it the alternative to the Russian join. So I don't know what other names it might go by, but I just call it alternative to Russian join. So threaded on the needle, I have the tail of my working yarn. It's all done, and here is the new yarn, and it's been unraveled a little bit. I don't think that should make a difference. I don't think that will be bad. What I do, I leave a tiny little tail here, and then I take I line up the end of the tail of the new yarn with the needle, and I go about, so that's usually like 2 to 3 inches, 2.5 inches, and I just start one needle length down, threading it through the tube, basically. So I like to fill up the needle and then go a little bit more. So maybe like 1.5 times the length of the needle. Maybe a little more, I don't know. It kind of becomes really fun and I don't want to stop. So once the needle starts to get bunchy like this, or the yarn on the needle starts to get bunchy, I just pull it through. Wow, that's especially tight, that one. Okay. Take the needle off. So now it'll look like that. We have the old tail on the left, the new yarn on the right. So now you're going to thread the new yarn into the needle. And again, leaving a very small amount at the end. That's maybe 3/8 of an inch, fat 1/4 of an inch. And then starting very close to where the yarns are meeting, thread the other way. So now I'm threading the new yarn into the old yarn. And same thing. Fill up the needle, and then go a little bit more, just because it's fun and it's a good idea. I find this way to be a little bit faster than the Russian join. Not by much, but a little bit, enough. So that's probably enough. Poke it out, pull it through, stick the needle in your mouth so you don't lose it. So then it should look like this. Pull the 2 tails until you feel resistance, which may or may not be very far. And then starting at the join, just smooth it out. And once you get past the tails, which are about here, I like to give it a little tug to test it out. And that's not bad. I can pull it pretty hard. And then, when you crochet with it, or knit with it, this particular project happens to be crocheted. It's hard to talk with that needle in my mouth. Okay. When you work with it, I think it is also a little bit thinner than the Russian join. And here is where there might be a difference between, oh sorry, I didn't realize I was getting off camera. So I haven't come to the join yet. I don't know if the braided join is going to be any thinner or thicker than this particular join. So here I am about to work with the joined part, and it's really, it is a little bit thicker. I'll do a few more stitches so you can really see it. Let's see. This stitch and this stitch have, so these two both have the joined part in it. And you can see it's not really very noticeable in your work, unless you're really looking for it. So that is the alternative Russian join, or what I learned to be called the needle join, or the cheater's braided join. I don't know what name it goes by in other parts of the world, but that's what I call it. So I hope you find it useful. Goodbye.